Imagine checking into a hotel for a week-long trip, only to vanish under mysterious circumstances. Days later, your body is discovered in the most unlikely and horrifying place imaginable, inside the hotel's rooftop water tank. This isn't the plot of a horror film. This is a real story of Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old Canadian student whose strange disappearance and death at Los Angeles' infamous Cecil Hotel has haunted the world for over a decade. Her case sparked wild theories, from mental illness and foul play, to government conspiracies, to the supernatural. Some even believe the hotel itself is cursed. Tonight, we dive deep into the mysterious death of Elisa Lam and uncover the dark secrets of the Hotel Cecil. Stay with me until the end, because the deeper we go, the darker it gets. Elisa Lam was born in Vancouver, Canada, in April 1991. She was the daughter of immigrant from Hong Kong, quiet but bright, with a love for writing and books. Like many young people, Elisa kept a Tumblr blog, where she shared her thoughts, her struggles, and her dreams. Her posts often reflected her battle with depression and bipolar disorder, but also her thirst for adventure and connection. In early 2013, Elisa decided to take a solo trip to California. She wanted to see the world beyond her quiet life in Vancouver. Her plan was simple: travel by Amtrak, explore different cities, and share her experiences online. But little did she know, this journey would be her last. When Elisa arrived in Los Angeles, she checked into the Cecil Hotel in downtown LA. On the surface, it was an affordable place for travelers. But beneath the neon lights, the Cecil had a reputation so dark, it almost felt alive with evil. Built in the 1920s, the hotel was supposed to be a glamorous destination. But as the neighborhood declined, so did the Cecil. By the 1980s and 90s, it was known as Skid Row's Hotel, a cheap, dangerous stopover for drifters, criminals, and the desperate. The Cecil has been linked to serial killers, suicides, and countless unexplained deaths. Richard Ramirez, the infamous Night Stalker, once stayed there. So did Jack Unterweger, another serial killer from Austria. It was a hotel with a body count. And Elisa, unknowingly, checked into one of the most sinister places in America. On January 31st, 2013, Elisa's family lost contact with her. She had been calling home every day of her trip, but suddenly, silence. Concerned, her parents reported her missing. Police began searching the hotel, and soon released a piece of evidence that shocked the world. Security footage from one of the hotel's elevators. In the grainy black and white video, Elisa enters the elevator wearing a red hoodie. She presses multiple buttons. The doors remain open. Then something strange happens. She peers outside the elevator, cautiously, as if someone is following her. She jumps back in, presses herself against the wall, and hides. Then she steps out again, waving her arms in erratic gestures, almost as if she's talking to someone or something that isn't there. The doors never close. Elisa eventually steps out and disappears from view. This was the last known footage of her alive. The internet exploded. Millions watched and rewatched the clip. Some said she was hallucinating. Others swore she was being stalked. And some believed she was possessed. But nothing could prepare anyone for what would come next. For weeks, guests at the Cecil began complaining. The water pressure was low. The tap water tasted strange. Some even claimed it came out black at first, before turning clear. On February 19th, 2013, a hotel worker climbed to the roof to check the water tanks. What he found was beyond comprehension. Inside one of the tanks floated the body of Elisa Lam. She had been missing for 3 weeks. Now, she was found dead in the hotel's own drinking supply. The discovery horrified the public. How had she gotten there? Why was the water tank even accessible? And most chilling of all, was someone responsible? The police investigation raised more questions than answers. The water tanks were on the hotel roof, accessible only by a locked door and alarm system. The tanks themselves were tall, heavy, and difficult to access. So how did Elisa, a young woman with no keys, end up inside? The autopsy later concluded no drugs or alcohol were in her system. Her cause of death was ruled accidental drowning, but the official report left many unsatisfied. Her clothes were found floating in the water, but her body showed no signs of trauma. Police suggested she may have had a psychotic episode due to her bipolar disorder, entered the tank on her own, and drowned. But critics argue that doesn't explain everything. The locked roof access, the strange behavior in the elevator, or why the doors never closed. The mystery only deepened. The strange footage and unexplained details fueled the internet's obsession. Forums lit up with theories. Murder. Some believe Elisa was followed, possibly by someone staying at the hotel. They argue the elevator behavior suggests she was hiding from a real person. Paranormal. Others point to the Cecil's cursed history, suggesting Elisa was another victim of its dark energy. Conspiracy. A theory claims Elisa was part of a secret government experiment or biological test. Strangely, there was an outbreak of tuberculosis in Skid Row around the time of her death, and the test kit used was called the Elisa test. Coincidence or clue? Supernatural influence. A chilling theory connects Elisa's case to the 2005 horror movie Dark Water, in which a girl's body is found in a water tank of a haunted apartment building. The similarities are uncanny. Theories spread like wildfire, but none could be proven. To understand Elisa's fate, some point to the Cecil itself. Over the decades, the hotel had been a magnet for tragedy. From suicides, guests leaping to their deaths from upper floors, to murders, to serial killers using it as a hideout. Some locals even call it the Suicide Hotel. Could the Cecil be cursed? Or is it simply a place where poverty, crime, and despair collide? Whatever the truth, Elisa became the most infamous chapter in its bloody history. Even after years, questions remain unanswered. Why didn't the elevator doors close? How could Elisa get to the roof unnoticed? Was she truly alone in her final moments? And why does her case feel more like a horror film in reality? The official story is accidental death due to mental illness. But for many, that explanation feels incomplete. Perhaps the most haunting part isn't what we know, but what we don't. The Elisa Lam case remains one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries of the 21st century. Netflix's documentary, Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, revived interest, but even then, the answers fell short. For some, Elisa was a tragic victim of her own struggles. For others, she was a victim of something far darker, the kind of darkness that the Cecil has always hidden in its walls. Her story warns us of the dangers of untreated mental illness, but it also reminds us of the fragility of life and how quickly a trip of adventure can turn into a nightmare. So, what do you think happened to Elisa Lam? Was it simply a tragic accident? Or is there something darker lurking in the shadows of the Cecil Hotel? Her case may never be solved, but one thing is certain. The mystery of Elisa Lam will haunt us forever. If you found this story chilling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most mysterious cases. Because sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction.